One of the things I wanted to talk to you about today would be some of my recent sewing machine finds. So many of you know that I have a love for vintage sewing machines. Now, I am not an expert, but I do have quite a few machines in the store. If you've ever been by the store, then you know that we have machines tucked away in every little nook and cranny all over our fabric department. We have kind of our sewing machine museum in the front window. It is really one of the most memorable parts of our store, and it's one of my favorite parts of coming into the store and seeing all of these beautiful sewing machines. But what I wanted to talk about for just a few minutes would be these two machines that are sitting here and what's special about them, right? So recently I sold one of my Singer 99 sewing machines. So a Singer 99 is a particular style of sewing machine. It's a particular size, it has a particular bobbin size and all of that good stuff. It's one of the machines that were made in the 50s. So if you think about what's most, one of the machines that's most memorable are the featherweights. The featherweights are known for being very, very light. They're made of aluminum. They're small, they're compact, they come in little cases, and you can travel with them. I own two of them, and I like to travel with my featherweight sewing machine, whether it's to go on a retreat or if it's to travel to go see family. I like the lightweight, small, compact sewing machines to travel. Another machine that is well known for its travel capability would be the Singer 301. So you have the Singer 301, you have the Singer 301A. 301A meaning that it was made in Anderson, South Carolina, so it was kind of local to the Carolinas. And it's slightly bigger than the 221 featherweights, except that it's also made of aluminum. It's a little bit bigger. The case is more like a suitcase. It is much bigger, but some of them have short beds, some of them have long beds, and they're excellent for quilting. We've had a couple of those 301s come through the store over the last year or so, and I always keep my eye out for others as they come along. So really great machines. And then kind of in the same idea, Singer was thinking, hey, we need to keep this vibe going in terms of sewing machines that are compact and travel worthy, right? So they came out with the 99, which is this one here, the Singer 99, which is very compact. It's a 3/4 sewing machine. So anyone who's familiar with vintage sewing machines know that there's like you have your featherweight, which is roughly about the same. It's slightly smaller in terms of like the throat space and the size. It's slightly more squat. And then you have like your 201, which is really wide. You have a nice long throat space and gives you a beautiful stitch. It's really big, very heavy. So this one is a 3/4. It's called a 3/4, and it's kind of in between, right? It's in between the tiny little featherweight and not quite as wide as a 201. It's not quite as big, but it's just as heavy as a 201. These are solid. These are cast, right? These are really, really heavy, solid sewing machines. They're still small enough to transport around and take with you to a retreat, but you're going to need a little bit of muscle to carry these around. They're not super light. I won't say they're my heaviest machines. I have some machines that are much, much heavier than these, but don't be fooled by its size. Don't be fooled by its size. So the reason I have two machines sitting here is that this one I acquired, and I think I shared it on a live a couple of weeks ago, that I acquired it when I went thrifting at Miss Wanda's, and we found it, my mom found it in the basement of a thrift store out in Concord. And I've cleaned it up. I've got it glistening. And so this past weekend, we went shopping again. We went thrift shopping again to the same store, and I found this Spartan. So now you'll notice that the Spartan is not as shiny. I have not cleaned this one yet. I have not pulled it apart yet, but I wanted to kind of show these side by side to show you how Singer marketed the same machines, gave them different names in different places, that kind of thing, and just talk about how in the era, we're talking about the 50s, right? The 40s, the 50s, how these companies really wanted to market to the housewife. They wanted to market to those who, we had the wars going on right in, at the beginning of those eras and all of those things, right? And they really wanted to market to a lot of different audiences, right? So you had the Singer 99K that came out, and again, really solid machine, 3/4 size, great pedal, and I'll show you these pedals, right? So these pedals, if you've never seen one before, these are designed for you to wear heels while you sew. So it is, I'm not sure if it's designed for the heel to touch on this little pedal here, right? So you press down with the heel of your shoe. So you should be wearing heels, and you're supposed to be dressed, and you're supposed to be prim and proper, and all your chores done before you sit down to sew. And so they designed these pedals to be worn, to be used with heels that you're wearing sitting at your table. So you'll notice also we have over here the Spartan. So the Spartan is an identical sewing machine. It's identical in every way. These were made in Great Britain, and they are, you can see on the inside of the throat, it says Singer Sewing Company, right on the inside here. I know it's not facing me, but that's where it's badged as a Singer sewing machine. So it was manufactured by Singer, but in Great Britain. And so they wanted to bring the same machine, very simple, the three-quarter, and all of that to Great Britain in the same way. And you'll notice that even in the way that it's branded, it's exactly the same. The way that the badges are set up for your stitch length, the way that your tension is set up, they're identical sewing machines. And I love that. And I think this one was slightly cheaper. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to make it seem like it was cheaper. I don't know. The only differences that you'll notice right off the bat is that it is not branded as Singer on the top, or it doesn't have the gold across the bed. Those are the only things that make these two different. They called it Spartan because Spartan was supposed to represent simplicity and completeness. That's why they called it Spartan. But these machines are made exactly the same. They look identical, even down to the bed, the boxes that they're sitting in. And so I thought that was pretty cool. What you'll also find when you're looking at sewing machines from, really throughout the 40s all the way through the 60s, you'll find a lot of Japanese machines, which people will refer to as clones. And so clone machines were like, after the war, in order to help Japan rebuild their economy, they sold the rights to some of their patents, right, to Japanese manufacturers. So you'll see machines that look identical to some Singers, made almost the same, but they don't have the name Singer. So they'll have these odd names. What are some of the odd ones? Modern Age, that kind of thing. And they look like Singers, but they're not, right? They're Japanese made. That doesn't make them any less valuable, and it doesn't make them any less good machines, right? They're still well-made machines. They just can't carry the name Singer because they weren't made in a Singer manufacturing company. I hope that makes sense. So the only other difference that I can call out, and again, this hasn't been cleaned, this is the pedal that I have with the Spartan. And I'm not sure if this is the original pedal, but you'll see that this is clearly a different kind of style. You can always buy a pedal that looks like this and put it on here. But, there were some slight differences. And of course, even the light in the back is identical. They have this one has the wrong bulb inside. This has like the rounded flat bulb inside it. But I wanted to share that because I thought it was super cool how you can buy another machine even if you don't find a Singer, which is the most famous brand that we know. You don't find a Singer, you find a Spartan. It's the same machine. It's just made in Great Britain. So there you go. Okay.